Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to talk about questions and answers. Okay? Keep the questions coming. Love them. Okay? You guys come up with some good ones. The first one is from Nicole, and she's asking me, how do we know if it's our ego when we think our past loved ones would be saying, or if it's their true spirit channeling through us? Well, that's a great question, but ego is what you think that they should be saying. Okay, it's very simple. When I have a conversation with loved ones that have passed, I never put my opinion. I remember when my father passed, my father told me something that I didn't like. If I could alter it, I would, but I appreciated his clarity and his truth, and I needed to hear it, whether I liked it or not. When you don't put your ego and your pride and you really listen to what they say and you don't block what you don't like what they say, that is true spirit coming through. So I find that to be a great question, and many of us do it. And I always tell people the simplest way to communicate with your loved one is put your ego away. And whatever comes through will come through. Have a conversation with them. It really does work. And do not expect to hear what you want to hear. That's the magic. Have a conversation, and then when you're done speaking, leave with silence within yourself. Quiet the chit-chat. And then you're going to be pleasantly surprised of what comes through. Sometimes it's not what you're going to want to hear, but you're going to hear it. And it could be silently, like you're thinking to yourself. But when you put your ego, your pride, your opinions to the side, that's what the difference is. And that's how you'll know that it's spirit really coming through. Thank you for that. Another question that I have is, what happens when you allow negative energy in? Thought that was a great one. It's laws of attraction. Let's put it to you this way. If you're constantly going to see the glass empty, not even half full, but empty, you're already setting your presence to be nothing but negative. Okay? Often I use this as an example. When you have to go to a relative's house or a friend's house and you're really dreading it, you love them, but you don't want to be around them. My father taught me this when I was a little girl. I remember my mother didn't like certain people on my father's side, and I think we have that in every family. And when we would get invited somewhere, my mother would really dread it. And my mother was right, because sometimes some of them weren't very nice. But my father had a great attitude. He used to say, hey, you make the best of it 3-4 hours. You go, you eat, you leave. And I remember as a little girl, I used to, witness that. And I say, my father's right. We do this to ourselves. We build up so much that isn't good that we literally get sick. We feel toxic. We dread anything before it even happens, and maybe we're bringing that on. So I always tell people, make the best out of a situation while you're presently in the moment. Pick your battles. See people sparingly. I get it. Certain people are always going to just get under your skin. It gets under my skin. And what I've learned through the years is make the most of your life. If someone is really getting on your nerves that much, disconnect. You're going to have to start doing it, because you are going to have nothing but chaos in your life. Okay? So I always say that. What happens when you allow negative energy in? More negative. What happens when you let good in? When you let God in? I find this very interesting. When people are so mean and cruel and cynical and selfish, they don't have God in their lives. I'll bet they don't even pray that much, if they pray at all. Think about that. What I love about prayer is we can pray for anything that we struggle with each and every day. And I truly mean that. So when you can start incorporating that in your life, you're going to be very, very surprised of what will come through in such a great way. So I really, really enjoyed that question. Now here's another one that I got. If it's our loved ones coming through, how do we control this? How do we shut it off? How do we keep it going? This is very, very interesting. How do I control what comes out of my mouth that I have no power? Love that one. Interesting enough, when I do sessions, things will come out of my mouth that I had no intention on saying. And I'm like, wait, I just said that? What did I just say? And I'm listening to it like it was the first time. So does spirit have control with what we say sometimes? The answer is yes. And they don't mean to be horrible or making our lives miserable. They have a concrete message, and they're going to make sure that either we know it or we're saying it and we hear it, and they want to be heard. So this is something that I find very, very interesting, but it happens to me a lot when I'm doing sessions. I sometimes will have no filter with what will come out because spirit is coming through me and they're getting their message, and I like it. So it's very interesting. A lot of times people will say, my daughter's pregnant, and I will immediately say, well, yeah, he will be born in January. And I'm like, wait, did I just say he? Do you know that he's having a boy? She goes, she is having a boy. I says, I didn't know that. She goes, I know, it was great. You just said it like matter of fact. And that is the way this works. So I do believe that. When you're open to things, more will come through. Now, the other flip on that is, how do we control it? I say this a lot. I get bombarded with messages every single minute, not day, second. And for the most part, I'm used to it because I've been doing this my whole life. But let's say I haven't had much sleep, which I normally don't, but on an average, and they're coming to me. Here's what I do. You don't have to be cruel to say, I'm not letting you in. You're not going to be in my space. When I hear people saying that, it's such a wrong thing. You have to understand, on the other side, there is no time on the other side. So they sometimes will not know when they are coming and bothering. All you have to do is be polite. What I do is I'll see them sometimes at the foot of my bed, and I'll say, guys, I promise, get me up at 6, and I promise you, by 7 o'clock in the morning, you can show me what you need, tell me what you need, and I am going to listen. If I could just have a few hours of sleep, and you know what? They always do. It's very interesting. Another thing I wanted to add to that, if you're a person that cannot sleep, and I'm one of those people, I've never slept even when I was a child. If I get 2 to 3 hours a night, that's like equivalent for me 8 hours. But sometimes I can't even sleep the 2 to 3 hours. And I have found in the last few years, I've been praying to my angels to give me sleep, to help relax my body and my mind. And I have to tell you, every time I pray to them, it works. You might want to try it. Okay? So that is something that I think will really, really help you, and it will help quiet you down. So I hope this has enlightened you. Please keep the questions coming. I love questions. And there is no stupid question. If it's on your mind, you need to say it, okay? Keep them coming. Subscribe to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all of it. I'm there, okay? I'm all over the map. And yes, I'm doing webinars and, workshops. You can always see on my Facebook what is coming. You can sign up for those, and they're wonderful. They work, and it's very enlightening. Okay? I hope you have a very blessed rest of the week. And until next time, all my love. Bye-bye.